Starting recording. Arcano's squeaky ass chair.
No, that's my squeaky ass chair.
Bright Chaos's squeaky ass chair.
I've been falsely accused.
Alright, so if I can get some mutes going up. Welcome everybody to UTF Season 2. Now, this is going to be the third match of UTF. The Arms of Tomorrow. Now, funny enough, I meant for everyone to be in a cycle. This is honestly, my fault a bit. But you know what? I guess scheduling still worked out? Question mark?
Do it!
Everything still worked out? Question mark? So I guess scheduling... Man, my notes suck then. Going back to the main match, representing the Arms of Tomorrow will be Bright Chaos, Bastion, and Cold Rain. Coincidentally enough, all three of you are in the top left for me, so. And for any disclosure, Arcano is also Bastion. He has two people. Everyone else, I do recommend and say that you keep mics muted and stay nothing but watch. And any information that comes in or goes out stays here. If we find out that this information has been broken, it is grounds to disqualify the Arms of Tomorrow. Now, with that being said, you probably noticed there's someone who is very clearly not the Arms of Tomorrow here. In fact, a very, very well-known person who is here. Echo, which force are you representing?
Infinity Inc., baby.
All right. And so, Echo, you will also be in this match. Now, let me go ahead and start saying some things about this match. This is UTF. It's much more simple, not simple, it's much more complicated than your regular offense and defense fights. You'll be judged on so much more across the board. You'll be judged on so much more in team synergies, on so much more on a few other things that me and Skeleton are actually keeping secret. And you'll also... I blanked, hold up, sorry. And you will also be judged on deaths. You see, as you go throughout UTF, we'll be keeping in mind who might die at what point. Let's say, for instance, Cold Rain dies halfway through. We find out, yeah, most likely he dies right here. You guys can still use Cold Rain throughout the rest of the fight, but chances are, if Cold Rain's gone, well then, where's Cold Rain for the rest of that strategy? If he's gone. Now, losing someone does not mean that it is the end. All that means is that you just have to keep on going, and UTF is all about showing us who is a true hero. And so, with that, let us move on to the objective. The objective. There is an artifact somewhere within this dungeon. You guys are at this kind of stairway down. It's kind of a little weird cavey thing. Stairway leading so far down you can't even see the bottom. And all you know is that there's this artifact, potentially a cylinder looking thing, way deep down. That's all you know. Your objective? Get the artifact and get out. That's it.
Can I ask for clarification, PD?
Yes.
You said, hey, this guy, you are interfering from another team. I don't think you used the correct terminology there.
I am using the right one right now. Hold on, I was getting to that point.
Oh, okay.
So, I was about to ask Bastion, any thoughts?
I'd like to call to attention to the Arms of Tomorrow voice channel text chat, in which I have sent an image, which is a cork board with cards in it. I made a conspiracy board for this match. We have spent a egregious amount of time planning all the possibilities, all the possible interferences, all the possible objectives, power synergies, and I think it'll pay off.
Right, Chaos?
We're doing this Indiana Jones style, aren't we?
I don't know, but yeah. Cold Rain.
Can I wear a hat?
Sure.
Alrighty, that's all I need.
All right.
Mute.
Echo.
My name is Gemini.
Yep. That was something I wanted to bring to attention. This is going to be Gemini that is interfering. But
Dun dun dun.
I said interfering because that is the word you all know and love the best. Gemini, your job is to work as closely as you can with the Arms of Tomorrow and help them complete their goal.
Won't be the first time, PD. Won't be the last.
Everyone is on the same team here with the same objective. And with that, Skeleton, did I miss anything?
No, you pretty much got it down. Just get out there and be the best heroes you can.
All right. And then I believe all has been said. It's time for everyone here to show us what you're made of and win this match. So, let's start it off. UTF has a different structure than regular matches. It's kind of a who says what, when, whenever. So, you all are in front of this cave thing with a huge staircase downwards. What do you do?
All right.
So, huge staircase downwards. Are we like out in a jungle?
Out in a clearing of a forest.
Clearing of a forest. Got it. Are there any lights?
Nope.
Like
it looks
any
pretty
torches
dark.
lining the walls? Alrighty. Then, I'd like to take the time to kind of grab a small little stick, maybe some shrubs, and kind of tie and make my own little makeshift torch.
I'm gonna go ahead and make a request here of our good friend, actually, now in this instance, Gemini. And from what I know about your power, I do need some clarification. Do you copy gear?
Yep.
I'd love a second bastion. Actually, yeah, that's the bottom line. Love a second bastion with bringing into this this match is going to be the gear that I'm using is the defensive primary secondary speed exosuit.
All right. Yeah, I could probably muster that. I would definitely first clone Gemini and then have my Gemini clone Bastion. And I would tell Bastion's clone to, stick by his side and help him out.
Wonderful.
All right, so now there are 2 Gemini and 2 Bastions.
All right. So let's determine marching order. Going down into the dungeon. Love it if the Gemini, the Bastion clone, followed by Bastion, followed by Bright Chaos. Anyone have any particular preference for marching order?
I think I should stay in the back because I want to bring my post umbrella, and that can act as a good defense for our back, and I also have sight of everybody.
Personally, I think either Gemini or Bastion should go first. The originals, not the clones. Followed closely by their clones.
Hmm.
Okay.
Sticking close, yeah. Okay, but how wide is the staircase? How wide is the entrance going in?
Enough for
Is that like side by side?
enough for comfortably 3 people to go down.
3 people like lined up shoulder to shoulder.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Little bit of space in between.
So we could do Gemini original, Bastion original leading the front, the 2 clones, Bright, and then immediately behind Bright, Cold.
Sounds like a plan to me.
All
Right.
right. So, everyone goes down into the. Hold up, just opening the door. All right. So everyone opens. So everyone goes downwards, down these staircases. You're noticing that it's this staircase goes on for a while.
Mhm.
Quite a lot of time, actually. Like, wow.
Starting at the beginning, I'd love it if the Gemini clone could release an aura encompassing the group.
Gemini clone releasing an
Or
aura.
sorry,
No,
Gemini's
Bastion.
clone of Bastion.
Bastion.
Oh, this is gonna get real fun real quick.
All right. So you see Bastion's clone kind of open up, and this like blue misty stuff comes out.
That's decided now.
Oh, PD, should I clarify the gear that I'm using?
Preferably.
My Chinese chain twin hook swords and defense offense exosuit. I just had 3 to pick from, and I can bring 2, so figured it could use some clarification early on.
All right. Cold Rain already said the Brella. Bright, you are. Which gear, Bright?
I'll bring my range scope.
All right, the scope.
Yeah.
All right. So, with this, you guys, head down. Bastion's clone opens up with this blue misty stuff, and it covers all of you. You guys kind of feel a sense of vitality. As you guys go farther down, eventually you see it flattens out, and now there are a couple of dim lights scattered throughout. So you can kind of somewhat see. As you are down here, you guys hear some faint, thuds in the distance.
May I ask how tall the ceiling is
Yeah, about 10 foot.
already?
And the rest of the room, about how big is it?
It's just
it
one
opened up?
long hallway.
Okay.
One long hallway. Okay.
It stays the same, width-wise as the stairwell, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Hmm.
Well,
Moving forward, right, if it's possible to move the lenses in such a way to widen your beam.
Yeah. Would it be possible for me to essentially act as a massive flashlight with trying to minimize the damage I could be doing to the surrounding area and just be like a massive flashlight for everyone?
Due to the nature of your gear, no.
Okay.
How about I'm good at. I'm good to how about I'm taking a gander that this hallway is booby trapped, and I feel like we should use my ability with light to get us all across safely, but then I would be abandoning my post Brella, sadly.
Mhm.
So
thinking about it, the likelihood of us getting chased back up the stairs is decently high. So abandoning your post Bella for the moment wouldn't be super detrimental, as in we can pick it back up on our way out, probably.
Yeah.
Gemini had hook swords, you know? We don't want to grab it from range.
Yeah.
Well, it's a long hallway. I don't think I'm assuming like a minimum of 30 feet.
How
50
far
foot
out are we
window.
looking?
50 foot.
Okay.
Depends how
Not the
long.
hallway. 50
Mm.
foot is the range on my gear. I don't know
Yeah.
about the hall.
Yeah, it depends on how far away the hall is.
The hall
PD
is very
clarification?
long.
Very long. Okay.
Very long. Okay.
Alright.
So
You don't see the end of it.
Okay.
Oh, great.
And real quick, would love to just, hey, Cauldron, can I get a single 3-foot, like, wide piece of hail? Can I get a bowling ball,
yeah.
please?
Yeah, unfortunately, I wish I could do that. I don't think I can just muster a hail cloud. I can, however, put a hail cloud above the whole on the surface and just have one roll down to us.
Can you not make one down here?
Um,
I was under the assumption any height, though.
yeah, any height, but even then, like whenever it falls, I feel like it would.
he can't quite control how much hail he does. He just summons a hail cloud
It's-
under
yeah,
X intensity.
I can't just summon one piece. I have to summon that hail cloud.
You summon the cloud and then get rid
I
of
can
it.
end it. Yeah, I can end
Yeah.
it.
Well, there we go.
Right, but alright. Power dealer, am I able to control the size of the hail cloud in such a way that
You
the
can,
hail
You can
is
use your most minimum. Even still,
Okay,
a couple of pieces might drop. You're not going to get just
Alright.
one.
I'll use my hail cloud on the stairs area, just like near this, like on the stairs, so that it's not in the hallway, and just have a couple pieces roll down and stop them as they come down, and then I'll end my power.
All right.
And now we have a few pieces of hail to work with. 3 foot.
Alright. Yeah, I'd like to just go bowling. If there's no pressure plates, then we'll figure out the rest of the traps later.
All right. So you just
We should be speeding along.
Mm-hmm.
so you'll be getting the bowling balls and just rolling them down.
Just one. I'll hold on to the other. However
Oh,
many.
I just had a really good idea. If we had any kind of flammable substance.
Maybe let's not play
Later.
grease and fireball in the same sentence.
Grease and fireball on the hail, roll it down. You just walk with the bowling ball. in
We're
the
getting
light.
off topic.
So
No.
Rolling the hill down the hallway.
when you guys roll
Rolling
this
the
hail
hail.
down the hallway, nothing happens really. You're just rolling hail down some hallway.
Okay.
However,
There's
after
no-
you roll the
okay.
hail down the hallway, you hear sudden silence, and now you hear more thuds getting closer to you.
All right. Let's make a very slow approach forward. I'd like to move Bright Chaos to the front and limit the opening on the Bastion clone to just so that the aura reaches Bright Chaos, and then I will do the same. So standing on the other side, make it so my aura just reaches Bright Chaos.
Can I actually make an ulterior suggestion?
Go ahead.
Can I unsummon the Bastion clone? Have my clone lead, me behind my clone, you behind me, followed by Cold Rain and then Bright.
If you feel like putting your clone in danger, I don't know if losing one hurts you.
I've got a plan.
Okay.
Okay.
Then yeah, we can go ahead with I'd still like to be next to Bright Chaos
Yeah.
Yes, Bright
with
would
my
be-
aura.
So
Yeah, with my aura just covering Bright Chaos.
The real Bastion, right?
Real bad.
I would unsummon the Bastion clone.
okay.
So there's only one Bastion, but there's still two Gemini.
Okay.
And I would have my clone lead down the hallway with me close in tow.
All right. Bastion, how much percentage is going to Bright Chaos?
We'll call it 50-50 between myself and Bright.
All right. So Bright Chaos, you feel vitalized, as I said before.
Yeah.
As you guys put up this little wall of stuff and stuffs, you guys see in the distance, as the thudding gets closer and closer, now you guys see you're face to face with like 3-foot tall rock golems.
Okay.
And these things
And is
are
this-
just charging at you.
I clone one,
Okay.
Mm.
and I have it fight them off, and I tell my clone to retreat, and then yeah, I'm gonna see how effective the rock clone is at fighting its comrades.
At what distance is this?
They're gaining. They're within eyesight, and you're in dim light. Keep that in mind.
Okay. Gotcha.
Hmm.
So you summon a rock clone from a rock clone, and they start, fighting each other. They're pretty much locked in a dead even battle.
Okay.
And
Hey,
then
right.
you guys feel heavier thuds as everyone gets closer to you. You notice there's a few of them that have almost kind of raw metal mixed in them.
Cool.
Okay. Right, I'd like to make a request of you.
Yeah.
Just melt them down.
Cool. As they're approaching, kind of like shuffle everyone out of the way. With Bastion's buff scope at full blast, I'm going to essentially send. Funny called an orbital laser, probably not that quite level of power, but just full blast down the hallway to try and get rid of these rock golems.
Oh yes,
I
that's
unsummoned the rock golem clone immediately.
It's like, maybe this is a bad idea.
Bought us some time.
Cold Rain?
Is the structural integrity going to be okay if you overshoot and hit any of the walls?
I mean, you're not
We
feeling
are-
you're not feeling any shaking.
Alrighty.
Cool.
Alright.
We'll
Let's
go
do it.
full blast.
Cold Rain, anything?
Melt down the rock
Nothing.
golems.
I am
That's
just
it.
going to stand behind and watch this with my nice fancy hat.
All right. So, Bright Chaos, you feel your light beams are now much stronger than you thought before. So you use this combined with your little wrist-mounted scopes. The light that you shoot from your hand is drilling through this rock golem.
I clone Bright.
There are 2 Brights that are just drilling through the rock ones. Like it's not like boom straight through. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 dead.
Okay.
Absolutely destroyed. You notice that when you aim at the metal ones, you notice they're tanking you for at least 15 seconds,
Okay.
even with this power buff.
Okay.
And they're still moving forward almost uninhibited. There's a whole wave of these things coming. What's your guys' plan?
All right. I'm just gonna step like once forward, retracting aura, and then just full strength take this big 3-foot hail that I've got holding, and I'm just gonna throw it at like fucking as hard as I can towards these things.
Yes! Let's play dodgeball.
All right, you only have a limited amount of hail, but when you throw it at them, yeah, those rock things go flying. Just meow.
Cool.
The metal ones, they're tanking you.
Yeah. Okay.
Fun.
How fast are these things? They're yeah.
I think-
jogging pace, if I were to put that in
Yeah,
perspective.
Okay.
I
Although-
think what
although
I'm
to
going
them
to
it's
do
running,
is
so.
I think what
Yeah,
I'm
I
going
get
to
you.
do is grab my post umbrella and I'm going to post it in sideways to where it's kind of like in a sort of wall in front of us at around like a waist height to sort of, if they do get to this point, they can it will slow them down even just a little bit is all I'm kind of doing.
You're putting
In
like
case
an
they try-
outcropping.
Yeah, like a little, the post umbrella is
A
like
little
sideways.
shoulder for us to hide underneath, essentially.
Yeah, in case they try throwing anything,
All right,
just
you-
kind of keeping it safe.
You stab an umbrella into the wall and you use that for some cover. Bright, you're lighting things up. Bastion, you're throwing what limited hail you have at them. Some of them are getting back, but what's the plan for these guys? They're just tanking and moving through.
The metal ones that are just still moving. I can take a few steps forward. And then yeah, go ahead.
I have a plan. for this.
I also had a mild thought. Echo, you go first.
No, ladies first. I insist.
Okay. Gemini makes another clone of Bastion. They're both putting their auras on me. How fast would I melt through the metal ones?
Now you're doing them in like 5 seconds.
Cool. That strategy
many
is
are there?
viable for knocking out the metal ones quite fast. I feel like that would probably be one of the best strategies at the moment.
Yeah. How many of those are there about?
Percentage-wise, we're looking at maybe 40%. And about a
Out of, like,
dozen,
a wave,
about
you said?
about a dozen or so, slightly more, coming after you.
Okay. Yeah. Then from this distance, you said that it's like eyesight distance and dim lighting. That's still a pretty good way. I think that that's a solid strategy. And if they start getting like within 30 or so feet, then we can switch it up a little bit. If they aren't all melted down to slag before then.
And what is that switching up?
Switching it up to Bastion, moving forward, and then staying out of arm's reach of these golem things, while letting my aura out in front of me and letting it infest them.
All right, so you see Bastion kind of, if that were to happen, move his aura from bright to in front of these things. And you noticed, after a couple of seconds, all these things inside the aura turn into orbs. However, you notice, Bastion, it's taking like maybe 10 seconds to get these metal ones.
Okay.
I'd like to add something real fast. Wanna get any what would you guys think if I put a cloud in this hallway to act as the hail would be like marbles kind of to slow them down, since they're trying to kind of jog at us, it would at least act as a hindrance.
I'm gonna be honest. You scare me, Cold Rain. You scare
Yeah.
me, dog. You're
I'm
scary.
down for exactly that. That's exactly what I would love to hear.
Alright, so would you guys think that would be a good viable
As
plan?
long as it's not inhibiting our own movement or visibility, I feel like that is a fair play.
It's not going to be like huge pieces. It's going to be like the large marbles that you get. And it's hard to kind of explain. Like ping pongs, ping pong ball-sized hail to act as a sort of just constant rain in this hallway and sort of.
Now, what happens
See if I
when
can
the
trip
others?
them up.
What happens when you all are hit by this hail?
I would try to.
That's what
Sorry.
I'm worried about.
Is that
You know,
you can choose where the cloud goes? Yeah.
Yeah.
yes,
Yes.
do it. In
It doesn't
front of
guarantee
us.
that you're gonna not get hit.
Yeah. That's what I'm worried about, is us getting smacked around by the hail. I want to limit that possibility as much as possible. Same thing with people, our own team, getting touched with my own light. No,
Yeah,
no, no,
I'll
no,
make-
no.
I'll make one more comment on that. If we just put it so it's over the golems and not over us, how is it hitting it? Us.
Because he can't exactly control it like that.
I'll accept that.
The clouds are aren't really particular. I could
Okay.
move my. I could use my postrella and guard like 4 of us. If we all
How big can you
stand,
stretch
like,
it out?
right
The
next to
post
each
umbrella
other.
that you left at the front.
No, I didn't leave.
I didn't leave
it.
Oh,
I
you
still
didn't
have
leave
it.
Okay.
It's actually it's in front of us, acting as a sort of barricade. But I'm thinking about using that and putting it above us so that the hail
Okay.
doesn't affect us, but only we'd be kind of scrunched up together underneath an umbrella.
I would
That
put
works
my-
out for me.
I would put my clone under it, and the original Gemini would see if my weapons could chip into these golems a little bit. Hopefully
All right,
inhibited.
so you see Gemini. You leave the clone. By the way, I'm just assuming like you guys are putting like a bandana over the clones or something, or it's like Mortal Kombat where one of
Yeah.
them's a different color palette.
Like a
Yeah.
darker
Yeah.
shade.
Works for me.
Just for your own,
Slightly different color palette.
Just for everyone's own clarification here. Even though that doesn't happen, you guys know who's who.
Yeah.
So you guys
And
see Clone Gemini stay under the umbrella, Bright Chaos being boosted two two bastions just lighting into this thing, Cold Rain summoning a hailstorm that's hitting everyone. Everyone oh so desperately hiding underneath that umbrella. Regular Gemini is walking out. The hail is hitting him, but he's just doing it ain't doing nothing to him.
I guess, who's not doing anything right now? Like, who's, okay, to clear up some space, I'm going to absorb myself into the light underneath my umbrella, so that we're not so cramped. Since
200
I'm not doing anything, so I'm just going to, use my light ability and kind of just stay underneath the light of my umbrella.
All right, Echo. Or
I am Gemini.
Gemini,
That was
what's your
great.
plan?
My plan is while I'm walking out to go see if I can ship these guys down, I'm gonna have my clone itself, and every time it clones itself, the one that cloned itself is gonna follow me and leave the clone behind. And I'm just gonna fill this hallway with a bunch of knees walking down it toward these golems. And then whenever I get to these golems, we're all going to dogpile on them, aside from the latest clone, who will be under the umbrella.
So you just see a whole bunch of Geminis, Chad walking just straight through this hallway. When one of them gets close, they'll use their weapons and just start beating them up as much as they can. You do notice that when these golems punch back, it is hurting you still.
Okay.
Like, smack. Ah, the golem punched me.
I'd like to think my defensive exosuit's letting me handle that better than most, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
I'm
Also,
just saying
I'm
saying there is pain
yeah.
present.
Yeah, understood. Also, I'm going to be using my Northern Frame Mantis style Kung Fu to aid me in combating these guys, along with my strength in numbers.
So you guys are just seeing this guy swipe through the hallway. Anything else to add?
Nope.
And Bright, no need to worry. If you hit a Gemini clone, nothing's happening.
Cool.
All right. So, moving on. This continues on for some amount of time, going through the hallway, doing all of this stuff. Eventually, you come across a couple of turns. And as you get to these, couple of turns, you can decide to pick one. And then you notice there's a couple of other turns. And then maybe there's a dead end. And then maybe it starts getting narrower, and then maybe a couple more turns. And as you're in this whole area, you hear a lot more thuds scattered all throughout this area. What's the plan?
Okay.
Thinking generally, if we encounter anything similar, the plan that we were using originally would probably work quite well.
Wait, hold up. Be right back.
Okay.
Did you guys like the image of me infinitely mirror walking down a hallway temple?
Echo, Echo, I didn't even think you could do that. That was.
This brings into question how many clones you can make, but we're not
It's
getting that
infinite.
answer out of
Yes.
you.
Freaking infinite.
Yes.
Hey, I am wondering if I am allowed to make, because it's just dim light, right?
It's dim
I-
light, and
What if I absorb the main party into light and have them rest upon, on the backs of all of the clones?
The problem is if Gemini makes clones, you won't be able to absorb them into light.
yeah.
No, I mean absorb us into light, and we
Yeah,
travel
that's the thing.
onto
You wouldn't
the
be able
backs.
to absorb the originals into light.
He is, right?
All right.
Yeah.
Gemini, where is this kung fu?
Power comp.
Oh, wait, hold up. It was so close to the other one, I didn't see it. I see it. All right. So, what's your plan?
So moving about this maze, occasionally using probably Bright Chaos's beam to light up the full hallway, to be able to see if it's a dead end before, spending however long walking all the way down to find out.
Okay.
And then again, whenever there's multiple bastions and we're not in direct combat, I'm having my aura be spread across the four of us
Okay.
in order to just so we can keep up a jogging pace. We're not taking a leisurely stroll. We're going at nominal speeds. Um, while this aura is in effect. And then every once in a while, if collecting hail, sometimes turning the pieces of hail into orbs using my aura, like the larger ones. And I always assumed the orbs were palm sized. Does that seemingly accurate? Accurate?
Yeah.
Okay. Then yeah, makes them easier to transport. I no longer have like a giant ball of hail that's heavy and shit. I just have palm-sized orb that I am keeping for ammunition. Um, so still moving at optimal pace.
All right. Anything else to add?
Um,
All right. So
And-
then I do want to ask, what happens as you're going through this maze? You run into like a group of 2 or 3 golems just around a bend of a corner, and they immediately attack you.
I would like to argue that I nuke them with Bastion giving me aura as soon as we see them and just melt them down depending on how close they are.
Closer they are, the faster it'll melt, really.
Yeah.
If she doesn't, I clone her.
Because you would hear, because since Bright Chaos is using a lot of light, you would hear the footsteps gain on you before you even see them. And then they turn the corner, and is that the sun? If I've got that right?
Yes.
Emergency situation. If myself and Gemini are also still in front, both with either some form of defensive power or defensive gear, we are still frontlining for everyone here, either ourselves or clones.
All right, all right.
Due to the nature of my power, I have to commit to either cloning Bastion or Bright. So I think with the strategy that Bastion and Bright are trying to go, the optimal route would be to clone myself a few times and then clone Bastion.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
All right. Anything else?
Bad goes to worse. Cold Rain Umbrella works as an instant barrier, and if it is the smaller golems, Origin Orb will almost instantly incapacitate them. And then that allows us get a little bit of distance, and then they get beamed down from in the orb. They break out and I don't know, melted down.
I have a question for. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, good.
Question for you, Bastion. Does your aura does that have healing capabilities?
No.
Okay, just making sure.
All right. So, if that is all, I will be moving on.
Yep.
Skeleton, any questions?
I do have one, and it's for Cold Rain.
Yes.
What's a post umbrella or post umbrella?
Oh, the post umbrella is Cold Rain's gear. It's an umbrella that has light underneath it.
I can send it, and I can send the blueprints to you.
Okay.
It's essentially
It
an
has pretty
umbrella
much
that
all
he
of it.
can just stab into any surface, and it kind of stays there.
Okay.
Yep.
It's also really big and pretty durable, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
post umbrella was used as kind of a shield back in the hallway, and then it was used as he planted it into the ground to protect him from the hail, and that's what they're doing a similar thing here now, using it as a shield. That's pretty much recapping you there, Skelly.
Okay.
That it?
Yeah, that was it. I was just confused.
All right, then
I'll send you
will.
the details.
Then I will
It's in
move.
power up.
Then I will move forward. So, Again, if that's all we're moving forward.
Yep.
You guys spend, some odd amount of time here going through this maze, doing all of this stuff, lighting up anyone that comes across in your way. Then, you guys come across this gigantic room. This room is absolutely huge. Put it in perspective, probably like rich cathedral levels of hugeness, like Notre Dame levels of hugeness in this thing here.
Boy, it'd be a shame if somebody had the ability to just destroy it.
You guys notice there are a couple of pillars throughout this place, and there are a whole bunch of these golems scattered all throughout the room. As of right now, they are just kind of hunched over.
Has the lighting for the room changed at all?
Yes, it is much more.
Like-
It is much brighter.
Cool. Do we see the exit for the room?
No, all you see is one big staircase leading upwards, kind of like a pyramid style, to a 20-foot glowing cylinder.
Okay.
What exactly is your plan here?
You said it was bright. Is there a specific light source?
Yeah, there are more lights across the ceiling now.
Okay.
Maybe some in the pillars. It's more brighter than before.
Gotcha.
I
Yeah,
have an idea.
Not to mention the cylinder is
I
glowing
also
too.
have an idea. Gotcha. Okay, totally. So sneaky plan here. Bit of a sneaky plan here. If Cauldron could turn Bastion to light, or the Bastion clone to light, and then actually, I greatly apologize. I'd love if Gemini could unsummon the Bastion clone. And then
Gemini unsummons the Bastion clone.
And then if I was turned to light, would I be able to reach the cylinder in that form?
Okay, so hold up. Let me get this right. Cold Rain turns Bastion into light.
Yeah.
And then he goes along the floor and gets to the cylinder.
Yeah, would I be able to just reach it that way?
Yeah, you can't touch it while you're light, but yeah.
And then once I get there, back to physical reality, I take just a few seconds and I turn the cylinder into an orb.
All right. So you you get out, right? You're right in front of it. You look back. All these golems are still, they're just kind of standing there, kind of doing its thing.
Mm-hmm. And then
You get.
I have a feeling speed is going to be key here. I'd love if everyone else is ready to run after I am back with you guys. Because I feel like these golems are going to, wake up after this.
So Bastion, you get your aura, and you put it around the cylinder.
Mhm.
As you do, the cylinder starts to glow, and you all feel a deep rumbling.
Mhm.
The whole area starts to shake and tremor. As this starts to shake and tremor, you see the cylinder shoot up from the ground, and there's more rock underneath it. And it keeps going up and higher until eventually something bursts from the floor, crawling out. Until eventually, you guys are standing face to face with one giant metal golem wearing this 20-foot cylinder as an arm bracer.
Okay.
Now tell me. what this
Elden
is
Ring
gonna do.
boss fight time is all I'm hearing. Oh god.
I haven't played Elden
So-
Ring. What's the plan?
For the love.
What was the orb? Yes or no?
What? No.
No?
Okay.
Okay.
No orb.
Please turn me back to light. so I can retreat.
Yes. I am going to change him back to light at the earliest possible
Moment we realize that, oh
moment
shit, we
that
can't orbit.
Hmm. Yeah.
Because the moment you tried orbing it, it just kind of left and just kept moving. So
Can I have held on to it?
I have a question.
yes,
Leaving an option. Is there an exit?
there's still the way you came.
Okay, so can we just clone Cold Rain and leave?
we need the item.
We need the item, and he's not going to be able to get it back on his own.
Oh, gotta get that item.
Yes.
Gross assumption here, but this may be the cylinder.
A very precious cylinder indeed.
Very precious cylinder.
Perhaps.
Should not be damaged.
Must remain attached to the larger object.
No.
The possibility of it being broken in the hail is actually
Fairly high from my understanding. Okay. Priority, get Bastion back with us.
Mhm,
Idea. How many Bastion clones can we get on top of me with
Oh,
Aura?
I forgot. All the golems are awake now.
Okay.
That was the assumption.
Yeah, that was the assumption. I still have a thought. How many Bastion clones would it take for me to just mow down basically the entire room in a couple of seconds? Just straight full light beam, straight horizontal line across the room, and just melt through everything as fast as possible.
Better question: can we make more than one Bastion cloud?
Can he make more
Gemini?
than one Bastion clone, essentially, is what I'm asking.
I cannot make more than one Bastion clone. I can make the one Bastion clone.
Okay.
I understand.
So that idea won't work. Okay.
So yeah, let's break it down. Entering from a hallway into a much larger cathedral-type room, in which there's one giant. You said, how big was the giant golem?
Given how the arm is like 20 bracers, given how the bracer is like 20 foot, yeah, it's pretty big.
Pretty big. Understandable.
60 feet?
It's like 120 feet tall.
60? Yeah, it's pretty big.
This is assuming human proportions. It could very well be very
Yes.
stout.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're closer to 60.
Yeah, 60. Something.
But yeah, so that's the situation. I am turned to light as. Come again?
Can I clone it?
God.
You try to clone it as best you can, but you're noticing it's taking up so much just to try and clone this thing.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I immediately stop as soon as I notice that. And I clone myself a few times and then clone Bastion again.
And from that point, once I reconvene with the rest of the party, oh god, I'm thinking of like D&D now.
Yeah.
Once I reconvene with the rest of the party, could two Bastions buffing a single Gemini clone be enough to clone the giant golem? Full, like, 100% to the Gemini, both of them.
The Gemini clone tries. You're seeing a clone start to come out of this thing. But the moment that happens, this golem has enough time to attack. I'm asking you all now, what do you all do when this thing attacks?
I do want to say that, I mean, I don't have the ability to even attempt to clone that thing if I have a Bastion clone. Am I correct in that, Power Dealer?
Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
that's true. So that just
Yeah.
doesn't happen at all.
Okay.
Yeah, we just don't do that.
That's no. Okay.
Understandable. All right. So yeah, reconvene with the party, attempting to.
When it attacks, would it be feasible to try and avoid the attack, have Cold Rain turn all of us into light? There are no clones summoned, and this moment turn us all to light to avoid the attack being dealt.
Fortunately, it needs to be in a radius.
We're all on top of each other.
Yeah. Fairly
is
close party
assuming-
size.
Yeah, well, okay, so I'm seeing that it is coming straight towards us. I am going to. My first instinct was, yes, everyone we're all going into the light now. So
and then
before it
retreating
would
down the
even
hallway.
get
Mem-
to us,
Yeah.
then yes, I would turn us all into light.
All
And
right.
as a reminder, I want to remind you all that when you are inside of this light, you travel in the light, including on all surfaces. So that means you can climb walls, ceilings, etc.
Now,
Just
what
whatever-
happens, Cold Rain, whenever this thing swings its arm at you guys? You turn everyone into light. You guys all basically sink into the floor. But the moment that this arm gets close and starts towering over you, you all pop out.
My
So in
umbrella-
that moment when we all turn to light, I have a feeling we would scatter as we see it coming towards us.
And run
Yeah,
up
So
walls.
we
and
would
such as
still
Cold Rain said.
theoretically be within light.
I still have my post umbrella, which would, if it did blot out any light, my post umbrella would still act as a little light source that keep us.
Well, it would
going.
get smacked out of the way instantly. This thing is huge.
I believe Cold Rain was in the back, and the post bar would be behind us. Is this still the case?
This thing's gonna charge you,
Um,
and it's big. It kind of doesn't need to worry about backline. Kind of just
Okay,
hit everyone
I understand.
at once. But so Cold Rain scattering everyone, people through walls and all that. What exactly is everyone's plan here? Starting a timer.
gotcha. I'll be going first, I suppose. Scattering, gonna get behind the big golem thing. Any smaller golems in the room around me, gonna be turning into orbs using my aura as I am moving, grabbing up a couple of them as I go, and whenever I get behind it, if feasible to climb up the creature.
Climb up how?
Just use this. You said like it's made of stone.
Yes.
Just take my hand with the exosuit and just punch into it as I climb upwards. Because I believe just pure strength wise, I would most likely be able to crack stone at the very least.
I have a suggestion.
To do some kind of that thing, because like I said, this thing's a metal.
Oh, I asked stone and you said yes.
I thought you were talking about the other ones.
No, the one that I'm climbing up.
The big
I
one.
apologize
What
if this
about,
wasn't clarified.
what about my hook swords? Could I like latch on to maybe its back or something, and like hoist myself up and inside of some sort of groove or crack of some kind?
You got to get really lucky for that.
Got to get really lucky. Well, if I see that opportunity, I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna grab that thing. If I don't see the
And
opportunity,
Bastion, to answer that other question, with your aura out doing all of this orby stuff and stuff, you trying to punch into this thing, not exactly, you're punching it. You might be able to grab a hold, but you might get flung off pretty easy too.
Yeah, I apologize.
I
It
have
was
a-
not clarified that it was metal, and that was the mistake there. If it is metal, I will be introducing a different strategy.
With that, I'm going to try and nuke down as many of the small rock golems just to get rid of all the cannon fodder as fast as possible with that. Once I see myself in a semi-safe position, how long would it take for me to try and melt through the goofy thing's arm to get to the cylinder? With or without Bastion buffing?
It would take a pretty decent time. You're noticing as you're shooting your light at this concentrated light, it's singeing it, but it's working much slower.
Okay.
How is the cylinder attached to its arm?
It's a bracer.
Could I slice
Oh, like it's hollow?
the-
No, it's kind of like a sleeve that's around the arm, the forearm.
Yeah,
Is
it's like a
that
thick
like
bracelet.
bracer a different material than the actual golem itself?
Yes. Kind of.
How long would it take-
No, it's the same material.
Fuck.
Hey.
Okay then. You said our goal was just to get that cylinder out of the cave, right?
Yes.
Is this thing like
Objective.
100% going to chase us down?
Objective
matter what.
Objective is take this thing, and this thing's fighting you. That's all I can say.
Okay. I I'm wondering how feasible a strategy would just to like frantically lead it outside would be, and then try and take it in a much more open area with less enemies around.
Well, once it's
Um,
outside, that's it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay,
Like,
well,
game over. Cylinders
thing
outside.
is-
It's over.
how big is this thing, and how is it going to fit?
Like, the cylinder is 20 foot.
Yes, 20 foot, but he's wearing it as a bracer. How is he going to fit into the maze and the hallways that are 10-foot ceilings?
Yeah, you said there was a staircase behind
Yeah.
him, didn't you, earlier?
No.
That was up to the cylinder.
Oh, up to the cylinder, you meant. Okay. Okay.
How tall
well,
is the ceiling in this room we're in?
Barely.
Our
big enough
timer
for-
is running.
Barely big enough for this guy. Timer is running. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um.
So there's 2 bastions. I'd love for 2 bastions to make an attempt to turn the bracer, just the bracer, into an orb. The only thing that the aura is touching is bastion and the bracer. Times 2. In doing probably evasive maneuvers, while just dancing around as I'm in close range with this giant golem.
You're trying.
If-
You're trying that, but you notice
Mhm.
you're seeing this kind of like blue stuff kind of go throughout the entire golem, and it's swatting you as it's doing this, halting your progress.
Okay.
Like they're the
Okay.
same item.
Mm.
Okay. Weird way to phrase that.
Cold Rain at Gemini. What's your guys' plans?
I am, as soon as I escape, I'm still inside of my light, right?
Sure.
I am going to, okay, so I'm looking at this room. There's pillars. Are there any posts? Like anything I can rest on above the whole kind of stage, kind of like any what are they called? Not rafters, but like
No.
Support beams.
all right,
just
yeah, like support
solid flat.
beams, just solid flat. Alrighty. Then I am going to stay inside my light, travel to the other side of the room. Note that my post umbrella has been left basically in the doorway.
Oh, Cold
For
Rain.
anyone.
You probably
Yes.
didn't get this whenever things, but same thing affects same thing now. Items move across now. You probably didn't see
Oh.
that. You probably didn't see that announcement, but that was back in season 4.
Oh, okay. So I can have my post umbrella.
Yeah, you can move it with you because you'll notice that you'll try bringing it in and you can move it.
Alrighty. That's it's good to know. Pretty much, I am going to kind of after I am out of this, I am going to stick around Bright Chaos and act as a sort of shield for her to cover her flank with my post umbrella then. And if this I'm paying attention mainly to the big golem, and anytime it tries to attack us, or anytime I see it start to like look at us, I put us both in the light and I move to a new position. So I'm basically acting as Bright Chaos's like eyes in the back of her head, so that she can take out these small golems. But I'm also going to suggest the option of using my light ability to climb the golem. Kind of just shouting that out here. It's possible to climb the golem with the light. It can't shake you off because you're in the light. And also, he wouldn't feel it, so I'm just putting that out there. Now I'm acting as Bright Chaos's like eyes in the back of her head and defending her with my post umbrella. And if I see Big Boy try to attack, like start to approach us, I put us in the light before he even attacks.
Gemini.
So, Bastion,
Hello.
what do you think here? Do you think that perhaps a double Bastion buff Gemini clone could do anything with this giant guy in the middle of the room.
I think we tried it, and we were interrupted previously. If Cold Rain and Bright provide a sufficient distraction, or if ever we're just behind the giant golem, that is a possibility.
Okay,
I
so
mean,
what's the
can
plan
I try to yoink the stone from the golem's hand
Nope.
when it's distracted?
Nope.
Can I simply attack the golem with a double Bastion buff?
Alright, so Bastion is putting 200% of 2 Bastion into you.
And yeah, and I got a few of me as well. And I'm gonna use the main me to try to deliver some heavy blows to this thing at its joints, any moving parts on it. You know, the nature of my talent is all about counter attacks and going for the lethal blow, so to speak. So I'm gonna see if I can do anything.
So this thing would look down at you, see a whole bunch of Gemini, like, what the hell? And it would, all of you guys would start punching it. You guys are denting up the legs and ankles and joints pretty decently until this thing would
swords.
until this thing swipes or kicks you.
Potentially, could I use my clones with my hooks to kind of help propel us over these swipes? You know, kind of like hook and hook kind of thing, sling one of us over to minimalize casualties there.
Yeah, you can, like get a couple of them over, but a good amount of them are gonna get hit, and they're gonna get hurt bad.
Does that hurt the original Gemini?
Yes.
Is that accounting for Bastion buff?
Yes. Bastion's buff is keeping him pretty well good, but since it is very well spread out, it's still hurting him pretty bad.
I'm gonna call out Cold Rain, use the hail.
Sire, rain, fire.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thought process currently.
Could we
get
add hail to that strat?
I was gonna say, start up a hailstorm of really any variety to add extra stuff. Try and get the people who can be hurt by said hail out of the room so that they're less likely to be hit and injured by said hail. And let the hail kind of run its course and see what it does and hope it doesn't hit the cylinder, is my thought process at this moment.
The cylinder's made of the same material.
Okay, so then just scoot everyone out of the room and then
I'm aware.
nuke the room with hail.
So I'd only be able to make a buff, like defense buff, one Bastion. So there'd be only a 100% Bastion buff to me, but I think the added Cold Rain damage does a lot.
Yeah. And meanwhile, anyone who would be vulnerable could be in the hallway or turn to light while here. And even from the hallway, due to the size of the opening, Bright Chaos can still shoot her beam, also aiming for the same joints that myself and Echo would be attacking. So, goal is really... Gemini.
You guys notice, when you guys go to the hallway, the bracer glows and the hallway closes on itself.
Okay, is that a wall or is that the whole thing?
Kind of like a wall.
Okay.
Kind of like a wall. Could the wall be broken through to get to the rest of the hallway?
You punch it, and there's actually a lot more stone where there should have been air.
Okay, that's not a wall.
Cool, so that's not super viable.
So that's not a wall. Thank you.
Bright Chaos, I have a question.
Yes,
I mean, it's a wall.
Does your light get stronger or weaker depending on distance?
So the farther you are away, the less it hurts you. The closer you are, the more it's like a heat gun with light.
Due to the size of this room and your gear, no matter where in this room, you're going to be dealing max damage.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. I have an idea, but I do not know because of this new rule with the power.
Time is running out.
Gear. Okay. I want to see if we can both climb up. I'm going to turn us both into light. I want to see. Do you think it would be a good idea if I set the post umbrella in a corner of the room, overlooking the entire room, and you sit on it and act as a sniper for the entire room? You are safe from the
Theoretically,
ads.
that would work, but with that thing, I would
Yes,
argue
that's
that it
fine.
would be much more efficient than with Bastion buff, but that would actually work, arguably. Yeah.
Can the golem be turned to light? That's just a question.
No.
No.
Okay.
Can I clone the stone?
No.
Can you clone me? Get my power. Okay, how about this? Gemini, would it be possible for you to clone Cold Rain? And so now we have two post umbrellas. You turn Bastion into light, and put both of the post umbrellas beside each other. One with bright chaos, and then one with Bastion. Acting
Yeah,
as a
Gemini clone. Yeah,
Okay.
Gemini clone in there as well. Original Gemini is not really worried about your hail, so you could rain hailfire, and I could just be sending out Gemini clones beating this
Okay.
thing up inside your
So-
hailstorm.
Yeah.
All right. So is that cool with everybody?
Okay, that's
Yes.
all good. I'm going to give
That
one
works.
small summary real quick. Physical attacks at the joints of the monster, mostly aiming to get the bracer off so we can get the cylinder. Once the cylinder is off, due to the combined attacks between the physical swords of Gemini's, multiple Bastion, and Bright Chaos beams, as well as being generally damaged by the hail that's going on. Bastion can take time, what you said, from 3 to 10 seconds to orb the bracer specifically, and then it doesn't matter if the big one can still move without that arm. Once that arm is gone and I have it in an orb,
That
we are
part
good
does
to
not
get
work.
out of here. That part does not work. Please. And anyways. So how do we get out?
7, 6, 5, 4.
Okay. Well, that's the general
General idea of how to
This
deal with
take
massive
down
monster.
So,
the
Skeleton, any
massive
questions?
No, not that I have.
All right. So to get this right, Gemini is sending a whole bunch of Gemini clones to attack this thing's joints, with Bastion also buffing them all. Cold Rain took Bright Chaos into a corner of the room and is just lighting this thing up while also summoning hail everywhere, right?
On the golem, yes. I know I can't. I want to try and have a small cloud so that it's not hitting in the corners.
Lucky
It's
enough,
sticking out.
lucky enough for you, Cold Rain, this thing's big enough for your small cloud.
Okay, yes. Then yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
It really shouldn't matter though. You really ought to just be able to cover the room, dude.
It's fine.
Fine.
Continue.
All right, and right, am I right in that Gemini is like doing their best to avoid all these swipes and attacks from all this thing, right?
Yeah, using my offensive portion of my defense offense exosuit to give me strength to propel myself.
Bastion, you're just
Over.
buffing.
No. Passion is, yes, buffeting Gemini, also in there physically himself with the SAM exosuit being defensive and speed, so already enhanced strength from my own power, and then also being able to move around fast enough to, for the most part, dodge the golem's attacks while still being pretty good on the defensive side if I'm clipped by something. But also in there fighting as well, since I have Gemini's power immunity. So the
Also-
hail does not affect me either.
Also, would if my clones do get taken out, shouldn't it hurt the clone and not me if I didn't actually use my power to make said clone? And I feel like if one gets taken out, then it hurts the clone that made it, rather than hurting the original Gemini. At least that's how it's viewed in my head. They all have their own energy pool and their own power that's separate from the first.
It would, yeah, but yours no.
Okay.
So careful. All right, then that I've got the gist of what everyone's doing. After a good amount of time fighting and Cold Rain just nuking this thing, eventually, one piece of ice would just slice through this thing's arm eventually. or its chest or something. Either way, this big thing falls down to the ground, and with it, it kind of crumbles down, and the cylinder is just kind of laying there now.
Okay.
With this, does the hallway open back up?
No.
Fuck.
Now you guys feel more rumbling.
Yeah, I'm staying up here with you, Chaos.
As all of this rumbling starts to feel, you're noticing it's not from the ground. It's from above. You guys notice the ceiling is start to cave in on itself. Everything's collapsing. What do you all do? Starting a timer.
A couple more punches on the hallway. Digging through a little bit more stone. Does it open back up?
No.
No. Okay.
Okay.
There's just solid wall. Okay.
Thought process. Bastion, orb, the cylinder.
Is that possible?
Is that possible?
The moment your spirit thingy or whichever thingy touches this thing, it starts to glow again. And you notice it starts to shrink and shrink and shrink and shrink until eventually it's like a foot big.
Okay.
Let's see. It goes to... This thing floats straight over to Gemini. Gemini, you have the cylinder as a bracer on you.
Ooh, shiny.
The moment you have it on, all your clones retract.
Oh no, my clones.
The hallway opens.
Okay.
Okay.
What is the plan?
We're out of it.
Can Cold Rain turn Gemini to light with the bracer on? Is that possible?
No.
Fuck.
Ooh.
Yeah, we're all running down the hallway.
Oh, through the maze.
Well-
How are we going to get through the maze?
Well, yes. You guys notice that his hand is just kind of sticking out of the floor, though.
He's using a thumbs up as he's just gliding through the ground.
Hold
Listen,
Rain, hold.
What do you? I don't understand the visual here. What is happening to Gemini? Can you please?
If Cold Rain turns him to light, he's just kind of, like he's gone, but then there's his
Okay,
arms
gotcha.
sticking out from the ground.
Does that inhibit his ability to glide along the floor and the wall?
Now you can still move.
All of us just zoot through the light, following until we get to the stairwell where there is less dim light, and then we just book it up the stairs.
As you guys get to the maze, whenever you get there, the cylinder glows and the maze opens up. However, there's not much light in the maze. What happens here?
Still have the umbrella, yeah?
Is the bracer glowing?
Dimly, not exactly a lot to carry, you guys.
Oh.
Okay,
Post-
Yeah, we can still carry the umbrella with us.
How?
I-
How are you
Does it
making
still emit light?
If
It
it's
emits
turned,
light
if it's turned
underneath.
into light, no.
Okay.
Okay. Then we can just run. It's fine.
Sprint. Go
No
as
reason
fast.
to be
Wait, can't. Oh no, that won't work.
No,
No,
waiting.
no,
We're running.
PD. This is bad question about my power. Can people who are inside the light overlap each other?
Not really.
Alrighty.
Okay. Yep. Still just running through the maze.
All
Book
right.
it.
So using
Tell-
whatever you can light to get out of the first part, and then just running.
Yes.
Yeah. Spreading my
If there are,
aura so that
if
we're
there are
all...
fair portions of light that cover the hallway that we can through to get just a little bit forward, I'd say we do that to get as much foot forward as possible. But if it's out of the way and we have to take a detour to get to the light, you just sprint. Dead sprint.
All right. Now, what happens when you come face to face with a couple of golems? You notice they're freaking out a bit, but they're still trying to get you. What do you do for that?
Bastion
enough
buff bright
light.
chaos nuke.
Yeah. There's that option, but also if there's just enough light ambient in the hallway to turn the light
You don't
and
need-
just
You just
Um,
why don't you shoot a path, Bright Chaos?
Because
of,
that the amount of damage that would still cause technically. And can I
No.
set the ground on fire? I don't
moving
think
on from hypotheticals. It's rock, indeed.
it's rock. It would melt. I wouldn't be able to set it on fire. There's
Yeah,
from what we've been told, there's no real
100%.
flammable things here.
100% buffing Bright Chaos and just holding our hand forward as we are still walking forward. And by the time we get there, they'll be slag.
All right. As you guys get closer to the stairway, it's nothing but smooth sailing. Everybody makes it out. Skeleton, any questions?
No, it's pretty self-explanatory. I still like how funny that Echo's hand is just sticking up from the ground.
All right, so
I could have.
everyone makes it out except Gemini.
Except Gemini. Why?
Okay.
You guys notice that the moment everyone makes it past the threshold, which the mountain's pretty much like towering over, or whichever it be, Gemini gets stuck on something you guys can't see. You guys notice he's essentially sprawled out. Gemini, you know this. You are split down the middle right now. Something is down the middle. Your front half is outside, but your back half is inside. And right now, the cylinder is trying to rotate you. Like, let's say it's on your right hand. It's trying to rotate to the left to get out. But doing so is compressing you against whatever is stopping you.
Oh, goodness.
Starting a timer.
Oh,
Gemini, you start to feel everything crumbling around you, even the floor.
I take off the gauntlet.
You can't.
I cut off my hand.
I grab it.
I'd like to assist cutting off the hand.
If you move it backwards, if you do something like that, you're releasing a lot of built-up pressure on the cylinder. You feel like this is going to shatter it.
If I cut off my hand,
Yes.
what if I just cut off my arm?
They're the same thing.
What if it's not shoulder?
What if I cut off my head?
If
So
you,
if
sever what is close, it releases a bunch of pressure. You know this, Gemini.
Oh God, why?
Okay.
So just grabbing onto the gauntlet, the bracer on his arm, and just pulling him forward doesn't do anything.
Doing that will compress Echo, or Gemini.
Okay.
I would like to stay uncompressed, please, Bastion.
So his body is.
To reiterate, the goal of this UTF is to get the cylinder out of the dungeon, correct?
Retrieving the artifact is the objective.
So where is he right now?
He's in the mouth of the cave. He's stuck at the mouth of the cave with some invisible force tied to the cylinder, compressing him because he can't quite escape for some unknown reason.
I
Blah, blah, blah,
take
blah, blah,
the
blah, blah.
cylinder out of the gauntlet.
What? No, you're trying.
Turn the rest of him to light, except for the gauntlet, right? That's okay. He can do that.
But it's still there, and when you release it, he'll go back to where he was.
Well, when I grab the gauntlet while the rest of his body is light, and I pull.
Yes.
Then you'd shatter the gauntlet.
Oh God.
So how does
Time
that
is
work?
almost up.
How does that work? I apologize. I don't see the objective
no questions
here.
right now, please.
Guys, just go. Leave me.
I'll
No,
be
we
fine.
need the artifact,
No.
you asshole.
I'm holding on to the artifact, and if the front of the cave collapses, and
Post-Brella. We stick the Post-Brella down
10,
to try and block
9.
all of the
I'm
debris.
running in and I'm putting down the post-Brella.
Post-Brella block all of the
Posting it.
debris. We're standing on stable ground still underneath the Post-Brella, holding on to him to keep him from falling.
I'm huddled over the gauntlet to protect it.
Doing so will cause all of your deaths.
Okay.
Let's just back
The
off.
post-
We back off.
Can I clone myself and can my clone leave? Oh, wait,
Yes.
Can I?
No, you can't
can't
clone.
even-
Your clone's retracted. 5, 4,
We are
3,
we are out.
2, 1.
cut the. Oh fuck.
Cut off the arm.
Was that, is
That'll
that-
break it. We're
is
not.
that the-
We're not
was
breaking
that-
the
We
artifact.
can't break it.
all right,
No,
cutting
that
off
was after.
cutting off Gemini's arm. Gemini is
That was after.
Gemini
No.
is stuck on the other side. You see as the floor completely gives way from where he is, and he collapses straight down, falling super far, and as the ceiling collapses on top, the artifact has been retrieved.
Okay. Cool.
Oh,
Okay.
thank God.
Hell, Gemini.
Sorry.
I
Eh,
want to live.
You're like, I want to
Yeah.
leave. All right,
I was very confused during all of that.
ending
Yeah.
recording.